Hi there. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we learned a lot about the Reaper, or at least Barack's investigations and speculation on the Reaper. And we learned that the Greg really was sus, and was also working with Giselle Brett, apparently. Or Asa Shin, or Asa Shin, I'm not sure you pronounce the first name, but regardless, yeah. We're pretty pivotal stuff. Though now we gotta keep on going. Though unsure where to go next. Let's see. Yeah, because there's a hotel. Because I know Susanoo wanted to report the news about the Reaper to, you know, her dad. There's also the scene of the crime, which we still need to visit. There's this place, which we haven't visited at all. But Susanoo says that we should leave him in peace for a little bit, so I guess we'll come back to him. Or we'll get to him eventually. And then also, the prosecutor's office. Maybe Kazuma will be back by now. Let's see. Alright. I guess this was the right course of action. Maybe this is one of those things where you can do things in different orders, and still get to the same basic conclusion. Oh, hey, look, he's here. He's actually here. Let's say hello. Kazuma. Oh shit, you heard. I guess he didn't whisper that. Also, I know I said it before, and I'll probably say it again, but man, Kazuma is like different, because he's had like multiple like motifs and themes and stuff, and like they all kind of go hard. Like his initial, the first one we heard from him was good. I think at least like another one, which is like more serious one, or more serious version, I guess. Or maybe not serious, contemplative. Now you have this one where it's like a little more orchestral, I guess, and it also goes hard. You know, good on you, Kazuma. I thought it wouldn't be long before you paid me a visit, Ryunosuke. I was right about what I said, wasn't I? Sorry? That you have all the makings of a great defense lawyer. Oh, well, gosh, Kazuma, that's the first nice thing you said to me in a while. But hey, thanks. Well, I always believed that you'd fulfill your dream of advocating in the British courts. I just never imagined for 1 second that it would be as a prosecutor. Seeing you stand in a foreign courtroom, so gallantly realizing your dream, Kazuma-sama, I'm truly happy for you. Aw, that's very kind of you, Susanoo. I'm truly thankful to you, Judicial Assistant Mikotoba. Ryunosuke, I always thought it would be fun for you and I to shake up the British legal system a little together. This isn't quite how I envisaged it, but I suppose it's just another twist of fate. Which one of us is Jeff and which one of us is Matt? I've learned a lot of things during my time in London. About how Susanoo-san's father was himself a visiting student here once, along with Judge Jigoko. And about what happened with your father. Yeah. We both kind of learned about that at the same time. Poor Kazuma. Then you'll have no difficulty understanding. Why, I had no choice. Why, I had to find a way to get to Britain as a visiting student myself. Oh, so is this? Are we finally going to learn like what the other thing Cosmo wanted to do when he got to Great Britain? Or like, well, I guess maybe, I mean, I assume this was the other thing. Because like they kept foreshadowing, like kept implying and like foreshadowing. Cosmo had some other plan for coming, or some other motivation for coming to London, but yeah, I guess now we're probably gonna get to that. As you wish, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Well, at the very least, before we start talking, we should, Oh, now we can actually, now we can actually examine his place, now that Suzato-san will allow it. But first, before we do any of that, I feel like it's only fitting that I show him this. Cosmo, this is your armband. Yeah, man, this is yours. I've been wearing it in your place this whole time, hoping that I could be someone who could fit in your shoes, you know? Actually, I think it's yours now. Sorry? You're the defense lawyer. You have a talent for it. I always knew that you would. Or I've always known that you would. Now you've chosen to take that path in life. As your friend, I couldn't be happier for you. Or more proud. Well, gosh darn, Cosmo, and here I thought you were just a cold asshole. But you're actually, still capable of being a nice guy. I'm glad to hear it. Cosmo. So you keep hold of that. Besides, I'm a prosecutor now. That armband would have no meaning for me. Well, if you're sure. Thank you, my friend. Well, that was a nice moment. I'm glad I shared that, at least. I don't know if he's gonna respond to anything else, though. Let's look around a bit. Maybe we can collectively shit talk Van Zeke's office. Lord Van Zeke's fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles, all neatly lined up. Yes, he's extremely particular about all that. He has a strict regime for everything, from the storage of the casks to the bottling of their contents. Gosh, he must be having a really tough time of it being his apprentice. I mean, I feel like the tougher aspect is the fact that he's prosecuting him for murder. But fair enough. Actually, no. I love dealing with random minutia. It's my favorite part of being a prosecutor. Oh? He's so particular about it all, he refuses to let anybody else touch any of it. Oh, I see. He's very, a real control freak when it comes to his fucking wines. Even though he fucking throws it around. Like, you got all the trouble of arranging your bottles and your casks and all that in, like, particular ways, and yet, whenever he pours a bottle, he almost immediately throws it away. Like, talk about being needlessly controlling and also really carefree about your precious collection. Silly Van Zeeks. So it's been quite easy for me, in fact. Talk about weird. Okay, that's a fun reaction. Honestly, it is fun whenever like Ryunosuke just, sees some weird British shit going on, and he's just like, man, these people are freaks. It's pretty relatable. There's Lord Van Zeke's incredibly stylish desk. Well, really, I was clicking on the chess set, but, fair enough. It's not my style, though. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I feel like your new outfit is also not exactly your style, but, fair enough. The aesthetic is definitely not yours. I imagine you would have a more Japanese aesthetic if this was your own. If this was your own office. No, I noticed you've been working at the little table on the floor, kneeling down Sizer style. Yeah, see? That seems more like his aesthetic. I thought it was some kind of punishment set up by Lord Van Zeeks when I first saw it. I don't think their relationship is that, kinky. I find it the most comfortable way to work. I guess. I mean, hell, I can't claim to have the best posture either, but I feel like sitting on a cushion without even, like, any kind of back support, I feel like that would get kind of uncomfortable after a while, but, well, again, I'm not one to judge. I can't do it. After a couple of minutes of sitting with my legs folded under me, they start to go tingly. Yeah, that's probably me as well. Don't exaggerate, Ryunosuke. We both know you can't even manage a minute. Okay, that's... You don't gotta take pot shots, Cosmo. This is supposed to be a heartfelt, sincere reunion, not you being a big jerk. But hey, compared to the other things you said, I'll take it. So, what about Clint? The guy that your dad supposedly murdered. Pretty interesting situation, huh? Do you know who the man in the portrait is? Also, can I just say, Barack said that, you know, Clint was a nice guy and noble and whatnot, but his portrait, he looks like a freaking Castlevania villain. Or like a fucking, yeah, no, a Castlevania villain, like Alucard or Dracula or I don't know. I don't know that many Castlevania characters, but you know, the aesthetic. He does not look like a very nice guy to me. Then again, I guess you could say the same thing about Barack. Why would I? What? But you're Lord Van Zeek's apprentice. I see your nose still does that weird thing when you transition from your thinking sprite to your head-on sprite. The line like goes on. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't. You're clearly still the same model, just in a different outfit. But still, just an interesting observation. Yes, apprentice, not friend. And during the time I was suffering from amnesia, I didn't even notice that picture. Oh. Really? I mean, it's not the smallest picture. I wouldn't have the first idea what the man decorates his office with. Oh, so I guess you don't know that this is a guy that your dad killed. And I suppose Barack wouldn't be the one to tell you. And I guess I'm not going to be the one to tell you either. And what the fuck is this? Oh, it's like a model. It's a model of the crime scene. Who the fuck made the Lego pieces? Is that fucking like Lego Gregson? What the? It's a scaled model of the crime scene. Oh, yes, I realize that. Does the prosecution office make a model of the scene for every single case? Apparently so. Sometimes it helps visualize things better and notice things you hadn't spotted before. I mean, I suppose, but still, I don't know, the little like Playmobil Lego figures for a murder scene, it's you know, a little clashing in tone, don't you think? Actually, the miniature notice board is my work. Be honest, you enjoyed making that. Yeah, it's probably for the best you didn't audibly say that. Let's see. Oh, I can't examine his workplace. Or his desk, for lack of a better word. Anyway, what about these? Casts floor to ceiling, just like the last time we were here. Hallowed barrels, I suppose. They're arranged according to vintage, flavor, and region. Every week, they're all taken out and put back in order. Why? Once you put them in order once, why would you need to do it again? What? Every week? Lord Lord Van Zeeks can't seem to settle on the perfect way of arranging them, you see. Oh. It's him being overly particular again, I see. Vintage, flavor, and region don't neatly coincide. That's the trouble. Gosh, being his apprentice must be a real challenge. Actually, no. Oh? He considers the task too important to entrust to anybody else, so he does it entirely on his own. Oh, yeah, about what we were getting at before. So he's a better of last here and in court then. Nice wordplay, Ryunosuke, considering the barrels. Okay, well that was fun. But on to business. About like, what about you dying and not, you know, and being alive? Like, what's up with that? Because like, now that I think about it, we still haven't actually gotten any answers yet. So, now's as good a time as any, I guess. It's getting on for a year now, since what happened on the SS Bureau. We were heading across the oceans from Japan to Great Britain. In a bizarre series of coincidences. My. You know, that's a pretty. That's not even a typo. That's just straight up just a wrong word. Like a typo is just like one letter off, or like that's just a different word entirely. Which is weird, because I don't know. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, from my recollection, hasn't had that many noticeable typos, but that's pretty blatant. But a bizarre series of coincidences led to those tragic events. I thought I'd lost my best friend forever. Yeah, it was a pretty serious shit. I must have been unconscious for a long time. When I awoke, I was lying on a bed. It was a narrow little room. There was a posy of flowers by the pillow. It took me a little while to realize that I was in the cabin of a ship. I slipped out of the room and headed up onto the deck. But you were already suffering from amnesia at that point. Yes. I didn't know what had happened or where I was. There was just this voice in my head. You have something you have to do. Something no one else can know about. Go to Great Britain. Your task awaits you there. Is that amnesia or like selective sleeper agent brainwashing? It was a calling I couldn't ignore. It compelled me relentlessly. Out on deck, I saw that I was on a huge steamship, and we were docked in a large port. It must have been Hong Kong. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, it must have been. Presumably just before they were due to carry your body off the ship. I had no idea of the situation, but I did have the feeling that this was in some way my last chance. So I concealed myself among the disembarking passengers and went ashore. Wow, fucking espionage. Metal Gear Solid Kazuma. Stealth boy. Then I disappeared into the crowded streets of that foreign port city. Oh my god. So I could plan my onward journey to Great Britain. I see you still have your sword. Wait. Did I never notice that? Did I? Maybe I forgot, or I just never noticed. He actually has like two swords. I guess he has like his. Well, it's not his katana because I have his katana. But no, I gave back his sword. I do remember that. I gave back his during the third case. But I guess he also has like a European style rapier or something of the sort. Yeah, nice touch. Just under a year ago, with all my past memories lost to me, I was left behind in Hong Kong. Everything was foreign to me. The sights, the sounds, the smells, my head reeled. I was truly at a loss. Yeah, I mean, it would be foreign regardless if you had amnesia or not, but having amnesia on top of being a stranger in a strange land, that must have been a kind of a sucky experience. I realize now that I'd escaped as a dead man. Nothing but the clothes on my back. No money, of course. Oh, how terrifying for you. Yeah. Luckily, though, I had 2 feathers in my cap. One being your knowledge of English, I suppose. That's right. And on the back of that, I was able to pick up some work as a deckhand on a cargo ship. Really? I wouldn't have guessed that knowing English would be that useful in Hong Kong, but, you know, fair enough. Eventually, after calling at countless ports, I finally arrived at Dover. That must have been some 3 months ago now. Your formidable tenacity of purpose showing itself again. Yeah, that's definitely one thing you can say about Kazuma. He when he wants to get something done, he gets it done. Certainly admirable. I mean, the man had lost his memory and had literally nothing to his name. But he still managed to make his way to London on the opposite side of the world. Of course, I had no idea why I'd moved to heaven and earth to get here at that point. So, how did you end up becoming Lord Van Zyke's apprentice then? That can only be called an extraordinary stroke of luck, really. You see, I was stopped at the border because I had no papers. Papers, please, am I right? They took me straight to Scotland Yard. And by sheer coincidence, Lord Strongheart was there to attend a meeting. That's when the second feather in my cap came into play. Would that have been your knowledge of the law? Also, it is convenient that his brain damage, or the amnesia brain damage, didn't affect his, any of his other faculties, like being able to speak English, or, knowing law and stuff. Yes, exactly. Lord Strongheart was curious about an Easterner with intimate knowledge of British law. He took me back with him to the Supreme Court and assigned me to the prosecutor's office. And then, 9 days ago, you finally got your memory back after the trial involving Trevor. Also, man, I will say that is a cool mask. Like, him wearing, like, the hood plus the mask, it kind of just makes him look, generically mysterious. But him having his, like, bangs and the, like, mask, that's a cool touch. Like, I get he doesn't need it now, but, like, I mean, I'd take it off his hands if he wasn't gonna be using it. Yes, I did. Oh, sorry, I thought he would have had more to say than that. So about your father, the Genshin, the professor, the murderer. How you feeling about that, Cosmo? Ever since I first met you at Yume, you talked about your dream. Mark my words, Ryunosuke. I will be chosen as a visiting student and make my way to Great Britain someday. Did you know the entire time about what happened to your father here? 16 years ago. Oh, look at that. Little baby Cosma and his hot dad. When my father left on that exciting trip to Great Britain, I was just a boy. I was like, how old? Can I just check something real quick? Do we have Genshin's name or face? I'm curious how old he was. Because, like, Cosma is, like, 20-something, right? Yeah, 24. But if, like, if Genshin was a student when he left, presumably he was, like, in his 20s? Like, his early 20s? Like, I don't know, I'm just curious, like, how young was Genshin when all this shit went down? Because, I don't know, he looks pretty full grown, and Kazuma is clearly, like, he's obviously young, but he was not like a baby, so, you know, he'd been a father for a few years when he left. I don't know, I'm just curious. We took a photograph together the day before his departure. It's my last memory of him. But what I remember most about my father is his unswerving sense of justice. 6 years after he left, a gentleman called at our family home. He told me that Genshin, my father, had been taken ill in England and passed away. It was Professor Mikotopa, your father, says Atrazan. Oh wow, he's my dad? I never knew. Oh my! I never knew he was my dad. Ever since then, the professor was very good to me. He even helped to fund my university education at UMA. I'll be forever in his debt. But nevertheless, I just couldn't bring myself to believe what he told me. Oh. Then one day, a letter arrived at our house from Britain. There was no indication of the sender, so I opened it, assuming it was from an old acquaintance of my father. What I read in that letter changed my entire life. What did it say? It said that my father had been a mass murderer, and the writer cursed the Asoga name. Oh no! So, I guess Kazuma did have prior knowledge about his dad's misdoings before he went, and that's why he wanted to go to London in the first place, I guess. It's not like he just found out when, he got his memories back. I mean, it was still, a shock regardless, but, couldn't have a timeline of these things. As a result of that letter, I found out what had been hidden from me all those years. Well, who wrote the letter, by the way? Was it just, well, wait, he said there was no sender, duh. Then, I guess even in the fucking late 1800s, people could send fucking hate mail to you, and they literally send directly to your house. These days, they just do it on Twitter or get your DMs, And presumably, the letter was sent from a relative of one of the victims. If whoever it was had been a member of the judiciary, he could have been present at a closed trial. The letter revealed that my father had been sentenced to death, executed for being a killer. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Since it was a closed trial, and nobody knew, the general public didn't know that Genshin was the professor, so I guess whoever sent it must have had some kind of ties to law, or maybe it was just a relative, who knows. I'm so sorry you had to find out that way. I imagine the British government did its very best to silence whoever sent that letter. But someone who knew the truth and couldn't bear the resentment was always going to be a problem. Yeah, I guess that's fair enough. I mean, if, someone I knew was killed, I would probably not be happy if I found out who the actual killer was. Especially if I knew there was a cover-up going on too, I don't know. It's not a great situation either way. But still, it could have been written by anyone. Why would you believe such a thing? There was a newspaper cutting included with the letter. It was the first I'd ever heard of the professor, and his terrible killing spree. Well, what does my father have to say about the letter? I couldn't bring myself to show it to him. What? Why not? Because he deliberately concealed the truth from me by telling me my father was taken by a fatal illness. That couldn't have been easy for him, and he'd done it out of consideration for my feelings. I mean, yeah, because, Genshin was, the two of them were pretty close friends as well, so, he had to figure out that find out that his dad, or that his friend, was, a murderer. So, like, yeah, I guess Mikoto was going through his own toil and trouble as well. So instead, I showed the letter to Judge Togoko. Ah, to the other visiting student. He faltered for the briefest of moments, but then he just laughed the letter off. But in that moment, I saw it on his face. He was undeniably shocked, shaken momentarily before recovering his poise. Huh. A year later, my bereaved mother succumbed to the strain of grief, and she too passed away. Oh man, that sucks. That's when I made up my mind that one day, without fail, I would cross the seas to Britain and seek the truth for myself. The truth about my father, Genshin Asogi. And I wouldn't let anyone stand in my way. Oh, Kazuma-sama. Man, talking about a lot of baggage and a lot of trauma. Oof. I'm sorry to hear that. I guess it's good to know that, you know, like, your grand purpose and all that, but still, it was quite the burden you were carrying, I can imagine. What we learned today in court turned things completely on their head. It was an impressive piece of lawyering, Reinosuke Naruhodo. Lord Van Zykes isn't the Reaper, you know. I almost don't want to believe it myself, but it turns out that Inspector Gregson himself, the victim, was. It's clear that the Inspector was behind the Reaper's activity all along. What? You mean you knew? The real question is, who's been giving orders to the Inspector? Yes, Brock Van Zykes is the real Reaper. I mean, I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it seems like, you know, Gregson was the brains behind the operation. And I know that 10 years ago, it was him who decided my father must be a mass murderer and sent him to his grave. No, he was merely seeing that justice was done as the law dictates. He's not to blame. Ultimately, it's people who condemn people. The law is just a tool that they use to do it. I mean, I guess, if that's one way to look at it. And when a man condemns another, he must take responsibility for his actions. Of course he must. But I know for certain that my father would never have taken another man's life. Oh, so you actually... I guess that was sort of implied, huh? But, I guess he just went out and said it, that he doesn't believe that Genshin was the professor. Kazuma? On the contrary, my father's life was taken by the Reaper. Well, I can see you feel quite forcibly about all that. And at least now I understand why you're prosecuting Brock Van Zykes so closely. So was that all we were gonna be doing here? Because like normally when you're done talking to someone, at least in these games, with these particular games, there's like a transition, and then you go into, that sort of leads you on to the next point. So I'm wondering if maybe I got something else I gotta present. Let me just throw a few things out here, see what we get. Kazuma, what do you make of this? There's only one? Oh, okay, yeah. So the team show still yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, fine. I get the feeling my friend's always going to have the edge over me, isn't he? Is there anything that I can present? Because again, normally, I don't know. Maybe it's a situation where we're gonna come back and talk again to him. Maybe. Want to join the Red-Headed League together, Kazuma? Okay, yeah, okay. Clearly he doesn't want to talk about anything in particular, as far as I can tell. Okay, well, this episode is already getting a bit long, so I'll wrap things up for now. I probably could have gotten a little more progress done if I hadn't, examined everything and whatnot. But I thought it was fun. Like, I like looking for the optional dialogue because you can get some really fun exchanges. And like I said, I enjoyed the scene of Ryunosuke giving Kazuma the armband and Kazuma telling him that it belongs to him now. But hey, wait. Are you sure we've asked everything we need to, Mr. Naruhodo? What do you mean? There's no fucking check marks. Yeah, it's all check marks. Well, what else could there be to present? Okay, if there's otherwise something to say, then that usually means that there's something I'm missing. I know, I already showed that one. Photograph of the victim? Maybe? Oh! Okay, so I guess I did have to present something to him. Don't know why it was specifically the photo of Gregson, but okay. Okay, sorry. Gonna go a little bit longer, it seems. I don't know, I like it, at least with each, part, each scenario, I like it to be complete before I wrap things up, So, yeah, episode's gonna be a little long, so sorry about that. The Reaper. At last I get to take my revenge. Kazuma! Lord Van Zeeks isn't responsible for your father's death, and he's not the Reaper. He's a defendant, and deserving of a fair trial. You mean, like the one my father had? Duh! At a closed trial now, too. The conditions are exactly as they were 10 years ago. And even if it ruffles some feathers, I have a plan to show that man for what he really is. Kazuma? Oh. Okay, well, as far as I can tell, we've done everything we can do for here for now. So, yeah. I'll wrap things up for now. I'll try and maybe do a little bit off screen to see if there is something that I can do, extra I can do here. Like, it may be a situation where I can just come back later with more information and talk to him again, but, well, we'll see. Until we get to all that, though, I'll see you around.